Welcome to the Church Solutions Podcast.
Hi, my name is Steve Lacy. There is just
you would
no flow, man.
you would think after over a decade of doing this we would have chemistry, but no.
It's kind of funny because the intro, next time you're just going to go, hello.
I think I'll do that next time. Now that you mention that, I think I'll
Yes,
do that.
because normally it's hello, welcome to the Church Solutions Podcast. My name is Phil Thompson. And then it became
Yeah.
hello, my name, or
Yeah.
no,
This is
hello,
the problem
welcome.
with when you work with a routine person, right? You're like,
Yes.
I'm expecting a routine, and you change the routine. All right. So this
My
is the Church
cues.
Solutions Podcast.
It's my
And
cues. I need
yeah,
cues.
whatever. This is episode number 486. And I'm looking at the video here. I mean, most people listen to this, but if you go to streamingchurch.tv, you can, I think it's streamingchurch.tv/podcast. You'll see the video. And it looks like I just have a head. It doesn't look like I have a body here, does it? Because I'm wearing a black shirt.
Yeah, black shirt with a black background. Yes.
Yeah, I have a black background, although at the top here I have this colored tile, or white colored, or gray colored. I don't know what it is. So it looks like I'm just a talking head here, literally. But anyhow, you just have to check it out and just give me your opinion. All right. So what churches need to consider when switching streaming video companies? So I have had people, and full disclosure, of course, is that we are streamingchurch.tv. We have other products as well. But I obviously work with people, and we get calls, and we get churches interested in streaming. And from time to time, I will get a leader calling me and talking to me about what we have, and going, oh, man, I wish I would have signed up with you guys last month or whatever. It's like, well, you still can. Well, we've just signed a year contract or whatever. But anyhow, there's decisions you need to make, and there's questions you need to ask, choices you need to make if you're going to either switch to a different streaming company, or sign up for a streaming company. Some people are signing up with us that are doing Facebook or whatever, and they don't like it anymore. They don't like YouTube anymore. And so there's options out there, but it's not just about the cheapest plan, right? Or the biggest name. So you want to find somebody that you can partner with that will truly serve your church's, your ministry's unique needs, right?
Yeah.
And so if you want to look at the notes here, at least my version of the notes, Steve has his own version because they're not good enough for him. You can go to streamingchurch.tv. Am I being passive aggressive?
There you go.
Streamingchurch.tv/blog. And you can see the notes here that I have, but Steve's going to add some to them, and rightly so. He's got some good points. So let's talk about this, shall we?
We shall. I think what happens most often, and we've been on the downside of this and the upside of this, but it's typically when people are considering changes is when they change their people. So they're typically either reassign people or they bring in somebody new. And, we get churches where the guy came in and he was using Streaming Church at his former church. And so he's going to use Streaming Church at his new church, and he's got his mind made up. And sometimes we get people that come in and go, I want, we're going to vendor X or Facebook or YouTube or something like that, because that person that's now in charge wants to, make their imprint on the world.
They want to make a change. They're used to whatever they used in the past. It's interesting that you bring that up, because we have this digital ministry RX thing, which we've talked about here. We've done a webinar on it, and we've talked about it here. And so I'm running some reports for just a number of the churches that are with us, and I have found out that some of our oldest customers still have the same people that signed up with us, years ago. In other words, there's not any new staff or there's not any new volunteers. It's the same people. And that's one of the reasons I think they've stayed with us as long as they have, because there hasn't been a turnover with staff or hasn't been a turnover with volunteers.
And the other main reason is it works. But
well, yeah, it works. But getting back to what you were saying, when somebody new comes in, it doesn't matter if it works or not. They're like, no, I've got my own favorite place I want to use.
And I don't know if this is true at other ministries, but it's definitely true at my home church. They like to shuffle the cards quite often. They'll just, this guy's now in charge of this guy's in charge, just move people everywhere. There's people that have been on staff who've probably been in just about every single position that the church offers at one time, if they've been there for a few years, which is just kind of weird. So,
well, a part of that is your senior pastor, or whatever he calls himself now, senior leader's personality. He likes to do a lot of that stuff. He likes to change things.
Yeah, it probably is.
I've spoken to some of our customers that they're consistent. You know what I mean? It's always the same thing. And there's pros and cons, right, to each. I mean, sometimes somebody's not on the right seat. They may be on the right bus, but they're not on the right seat in the bus. So I can see where some of that needs to change.
Yeah.
You don't want to have somebody stuck somewhere that's not doing a good job or not effective. And especially if somebody new comes along that's maybe more gifted for it.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah. So let's talk about what we're going to talk about. So the first point here is when it comes to making a choice or changing streaming companies or whatever you're going to do, the first point is you really need what I put in notes here is know thyself and thy ministry. So you want to, before you start looking at new platforms, you want to take a moment to kind of assess your current situation in your church and your future goals.
Yes. So, and this is where I was going to deviate from the notes a little bit, because we've done a lot of webinars and podcasts on this, and we've kind of adopted the Graham Spencer approach for how to create an effective digital ministry for your church. And so, one of the first things is to address, who do I want to reach? Who's my audience? And with in Graham's world, he kind of put them into 3 different categories. He said, I either want to grow my flock, meaning I've got some loyal, dedicated people, and I want to raise them up in the Lord and mature them. So it's my core. It's the guys that have been with me forever. That's one audience. Another audience is, and this is, I think our church falls into this, we want to reach our community. We want to reach those around the community that don't have a relationship with God yet, and they may be looking. So there's that particular audience. And then the third audience is, I just want to spread the gospel as far and wide as I can, and I just want to go out and just spread the gospel. So what you want to do is you want to understand who your audience is, because that's going to dictate decisions you make, and with regard to streaming and digital and marketing and how you approach your existing people and how you equip your existing people and that sort of thing. So it's important to understand who is the most important audience to you, and it's really, and borrowing lines from Graham, he says, well, it's everybody. And if you want to focus on everybody, you're focusing on no one.
Right.
So there is not too many entertainment programs or TV shows that are trying to reach everyone. Everything has a niche they want to reach. So, because you're going to be effective if you target what audience you want to go after.
Yeah. And I've shared this before with you. When I was in Christian radio, we opened up an FM station, and my music director wanted just to program everything: Christian rap, Christian alternative, Christian rock, Christian heavy metal, Amy Grant, whoever that is, those kind of stuff, and she just wanted to put it in the playlist every day. Right. And, and I mean, my point was, well, I think we need to, especially since we're new, we need to really kind of target something that's a little more popular, so we can at least, help our poor salespeople out there, because we were a commercial Christian station at the time, so we sold advertising. So we wanted to have some listeners. And as you just said, when you're just going all over the map, you miss everything. And eventually we did come around to my way of thinking, but it took a little while. But not to pat myself on the back, let me do that. But you're right. I mean, you need to target whatever it is. So you need to know your audience. You need to know who you're targeting, and that's very important. Of course, we can talk about analytics later. But so you need to know what you're doing here as far as who you are, what your goals are, what your future goals are. You also need to understand your team that you have.
That's the other big part of it, is to understand. So if I've got very limited volunteers and very limited technical expertise, then that's going to affect how you do your streaming as well. Yeah. So you're going to...
It's going to affect the company you use. If you have something that's really complicated, and you just have volunteers that don't understand. I mean, you got to have some really high tech volunteers. Don't get me wrong, but you may not, and so you need to make sure you understand.
Or you don't have somebody there that can get it all set up and make it really easy for your volunteers. Yes. That's another. It doesn't need to be a very simplified thing, but I mean a very basic thing, but it can be a very robust thing, but simple to use. So, but you need somebody to go in and make it simple. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we had.
Go ahead.
I was just that reminded me of I had a guy I used to work with many, many years ago, and he learned a certain technical area within our company, and he realized that if he's the only one that knew that stuff, they can't get rid of him. I think it was his thought process. So he would not. He kind of hoarded this area. It wouldn't teach anyone how to do anything. If you wanted it done, you had to go through him. And he didn't last forever either. So it wasn't a great approach. But I'm sure he's thinking, I'm going to be the king of this thing, and no one's going to know how to use it except for me. Not a good approach.
No, it's not a good approach. All right. Shall we move on here? And from all that stuff, goals and everything, you need to understand what you're trying to do, which you touched on earlier, your purpose for streaming and is it just live services you're going to do, or do you want to have on demand available? Do you want to do other things like online classes? Do you want to do special events with your streaming? Do you want to do simulated live with your streaming? There's lots of different things here that you need to take in consideration. What are you doing? And that will have an impact on the company you choose.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Number 2, reliability is a non-negotiable. So, as we know, nothing's more distracting when somebody's watching online and video's buffering and freezing and audio's out of sync and can't hear the audio and it's distorted and all sorts of things are going wrong. I mean, that's obviously a bad experience, a poor experience, and so you want to make sure that the company you choose can help you with those things, and it actually is a solid company. In other words, that their reliability is very, very, very high. I mean, nothing's perfect, right? I mean, Amazon goes down once in a while. Google goes down once in a while. Facebook goes down more than once in a while. So nothing's perfect, but you want to make sure that they have a track record and that they've been around for a while, that they're not just a Johnny-come-lately, which, I don't know, may not be the case anymore. But, years ago when we first started doing this, there were a lot of companies, right? And there's not so many of them now.
And, we relied on Amazon, one of their products for our on-demand stuff. And I remember them going down, and then only, they're a third-party provider to us. And so people couldn't get to their on-demand, and they were surprisingly enough, they were down for like almost 24 hours. So it was kind of a scary little deal.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, it does happen, but you really want to, make sure you do your homework and make sure that, there's a good benchmark here with another company. So whatever you're going to choose. And then also, what's their technology like? Is, you want resilient technology. I mean, we offer streaming church, we offer adaptive bit rate, which can be really good when somebody's trying to watch your stream with their mobile device in McDonald's or something, and it's not a very good Wi-Fi, or the data area is not good and weak. So there's things that companies can do that help your stream, get out there to people that may not have great internet but could still watch it or listen to it. So all those kind of things are important when you're choosing a company.
Yeah, exactly. And certain companies have kind of focused on different niches as well. So you're looking for one that will try to improve your network connection. They're out there as well as others. So
yeah, there's another thing in the notes here: scalability. From the blog here I've got, and that's just a situation there where is the company able to handle if you have a large influx of visitors or viewers, are they able to handle that? Can they, if you're having some big event, a special event, is the company going to be able to handle that? I mean, full disclosure here, when it was 2020, March 13th, is that what the date was?
15th.
15th. So, I mean, everybody got online, not just with us, but everybody. And I'm pretty sure pretty much almost every streaming company had problems for a little bit because they got hit with a huge influx of people that came out of the blue, from 22% of people streaming to whatever it was, 89%. It overloaded
weekend,
everybody. Yeah, included us. It overloaded us. So we had to do some things to make sure we could handle that load. And so you want to make sure a company's able to handle the load, whatever it is you're doing, and without compromising the quality, and helping you as a church reach people. All right, let's move on. How about a checklist? What really matters to you when it comes to your church streaming? And there's a little list here I've got here that we should probably cover very quickly while we have a few minutes. We, streamingchurch.tv, offer a very robust video chat platform. So there's very much live engagement tools here. We have a web host that you can designate. You can designate a web host. There's opportunities for people that have prayer requests, private prayer requests. There's opportunities for people to give online, which we'll talk about here in a moment. Interaction, we think, is really important when it comes to streaming video. And so we have a very interactive chat platform, and it's got lots of tools and features that are designed to help people connect.
Yep, exactly.
Whatever company you're going to use, you need to make sure that it's going to fit what you want.
Yeah. And we strongly encourage to have a very alive, robust streaming platform, just like you do have a very alive, you've got greeters, you've got ushers, you've got, people in your service to serve your people. And so we feel the streaming online can have a similar kind of environment, or it can be very dead. So
yeah,
it's up to you what's important to you.
Yeah. So live engagement tools, I think, are something, if that matters to you, and can the company you choose provide that? Another point is giving online, giving integration. Can your viewers give online digitally without having to leave the live stream to do that? Is it seamless? It's an important process. You and I talked about, we had a large donor one time when I was church online pastor. I think we talked about that last week or whatever, So, does the company provide you something with your streaming video that people can reach out and give, without going away from what the live stream is all about?
Yeah.
On-demand content, on-demand content. Are you going to archive your streaming videos, your sermons? So, is that something that your company will provide? Will they provide embed code that you can put it on your website so that when people go and look for a new church in their area, or your regular people miss a service and they want to watch it online? Is there a nice media vault where people can go to and navigate? Can they find it on your website? Those kind of things.
Yeah. And recent news, I guess it's news this year. Facebook changed their policy, so they will record your live stream, but then they will remove it after 30 days. So
yeah. I could see that happening. And so, on-demand content, is that important to you? Well, the company you choose should make that available to you. Multi-platform streaming. So you mentioned Facebook. Do you want to stream not only to your website, but also to something like Facebook or YouTube or whatever? Does the company offer that? Does the company offer a mobile app so your people can pull up very easily the stream or the archives or whatever else you might have available? Is there a mobile app that comes with the company that you choose to do streaming videos? So those kind of things you need to think about, because as we said just I think last week, you want to go to where picture of my wife there. You want to go to where the people are, right? That's where Jesus went, and people are walk around with their phones now. And so there you have it. You want to make sure that you can reach people where they're at.
Yeah. People are walking around their phones. The world is very different now.
It's very different. It's very different.
So next on your list was branding and customization. So the ability to make your live stream match the personality of your church. So something that you won't find the ability with some of the freer services. So, or the
we're talking about the platform. So we're not just the video, but the actual platform that the video's on. You can make it look. Can you make it look like you have at your website? So that it doesn't clash. Does it have the name of your church on it? Is there ability to put your church logo on it? Are there things that when people are on it, they know, oh, I'm watching the live stream here at Grace Chapel. You know what I mean? We take for granted a lot of times what people are thinking, but you want it to match up, so you want it to be customized so that it fits what you're trying to do.
Yep, exactly. And then we got a couple more here. Analytics tools.
Yes.
So
analytics.
Yeah. Where I go with this is, we were trying not to get into sales mode too much, but we only serve churches. So everything is based on church stuff, and churches track things differently than a high school football game will track things. So they want to, churches want to know who's your first timers, who's coming back, who's not coming back. And so those kind of analytics, how long people stuck around, what part of the messages were they bailing out on, that sort of thing. So having some analytics that are church-based may be important to you or may not be. One of the things that you'll find with, say, Facebook or YouTube is and we've had some of these customers go, oh yeah, I've got a church of 40 people, but I reach 2,000 on Facebook every week. And you'll find that the analytics for some of those popular platforms are inflated. Someone may have seen, a second and a half of your service as they scrolled through, but you didn't have 20,000 people showing up. So,
right, yeah, it's more than just who watched, and as you just mentioned, somebody could be watching for 10 seconds, but there's more information that you could get if you have a company that provides some analytics that are more than just here's how many people showed up. More of that, like you just mentioned. How long did they watch? What kind of device were they watching on?
Yeah.
Those kind of things. Were they watching on Roku, Apple TV? So all those kind of things are important. So if you're going to make a choice, either to change a company that you're streaming with, or jump on a company, you want to make sure you ask these kind of questions. The last point, so to speak, well, there's one more point after this, but the other point here is customer service. That's, I know you've said this before. Everybody says they have great customer service, but it's getting few and further away. I mean, you can't. It's hard to get a hold of people these days. They may say they have good customer service, but can you reach them on the phone? Do you get a quick reply on an email? Could you chat with them live?
Yeah, this is many years ago, but I had a problem with, actually it was a domain service, and ran into issues with the domain service, and their customer service was not good. And so I moved I had hundreds of domains. And the way I shopped for a new one was I just went to their website, and if they had a chat bot or a phone number, I would just start chatting. And if they responded with a real person that could answer my questions inside of a minute or so, I said, they got a check mark. And I went with the company that had the best response time according to my test. And I've been with them 20 years or more now. So, and they continue to have good, because there's sometimes transferring domains and doing all these things, you run into these snafus, and sometimes you got to reach out to their customer support. And if they're like, put you on hold, or we're going to call you back sometime, maybe, it's just like, it's the worst. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. So everybody says they have it, but the test, what's the proof is in the pudding. Is that what it is? The proof is in the pudding. Do they really respond when you need them? And I think the Steve Lacy test would probably be a good test to do if you're thinking about changing companies or using a company.
Call them and or either call or chat or send an email and see how quickly you get a response. Those are good indicators.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. Very quickly here, the last point. If you're keeping score at home, streamingchurch.tv/blog, don't forget about the fine print. So a couple of things that you want to make sure you keep in mind, and that is, if you're going to cancel with a company, can you easily download your past videos and, some of the analytics perhaps? Are you able to do that? Can you make those changes, or once you leave, are they lost forever? Now we have had people leave us, and if they want to download their stuff, we give them that opportunity, but they can't leave us and then come back 6 months later and say, oh, I forgot, we have videos here. I mean, just full disclosure, we can't keep their videos forever, but if they want to get them when they're leaving, or with a reasonable amount of time, we'll certainly work with them on that. Keep an eye on your contracts, your pricing. I've
got some personal experience with a tool that I was using, and I think they seem to pull a fast one on me.
I think I know who you're talking about here, right?
Oh, maybe there's been a few of them. This has been a while ago, but they went and renewed me for a year without letting me know whether I wanted to renew or not. And I didn't want to renew. And then they just said, too bad, which really just ticks you off, makes you really, so I'm like, I am never going to do business with you guys ever again. I switched to a different provider that provided the same service, even though I paid for this service with these guys. I just said, I'm going to stop using them because I wanted a couple of things. I wanted to make sure that I could stop using them and not rely on them. But they're dead to me, and I cancel. You can cancel, but they go, oh, your cancellation will be effective, 11 and a half months from now. I was like, oh.
Well, I'm thinking of the company recently that can't remember their name now, but it has to do with images. and pictures and those kind of
That was
things.
another one.
That's another one.
Yes.
That
We should name all these guys.
We should name them. Maybe we'll do a podcast. Here's all the people that.
The one I was thinking of was actually, it was Evernote.
Oh yeah.
And I was on their paid plan, and I said, oh, I'm so done with you guys. So, but then the other one that we had our photos with, what was it called? I can't remember it.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
They deserve to be blasted by us.
I know, right? They were terrible.
Because they had some exit policy that said, oh, you want to quit? Okay, you can do that after you send me more and more and more money.
It's like the Taylor Swift song, "We Are Never, Ever, Ever Getting Back Together." So read the fine print and make sure at least you ask the right questions and probably get it in writing. I mean, I'm sure they send it to you in writing, but just make sure that you keep an eye on it before you sign up.
Yeah.
So all these kind of things are
not on this list. Read reviews.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Read reviews. I'll add that to the blog. Reviews are very important. They really are.
I mean, I really rely, because they'll they see my reviews on the products that I bailed on. They were okay. They were good while they were serving me, but then they had this just surprise stuff that really ticks you off.
You couldn't get away. You're trapped.
Yeah, so you got to warn people.
Yeah. All right, so we're out of time. We're actually over time, but the point of this whole thing is switching streaming companies. It can feel very daunting, but you want to make sure you have a clear understanding of your needs and focus on those key areas that we talked about. And of course, we've been around since 2001. And we do streaming video at streamingchurch.tv. So if you have any questions, I mean, we're not hard sellers. We will certainly try to help you and answer any questions. And there's no obligation to talk to us. You can do that anytime. Just go to streamingchurch.tv. All right, we're going over time here. If you have not subscribed to the Church Solutions podcast, we'd encourage you to do so. You'll never miss one. And give us a rating if you get a chance. And you can always get it wherever you get your podcast. Thank you, Mr. Steve Lacy.
All right. Great to be here.
And folks, thank you for spending some time with us today on the Church Solutions podcast. My name is Phil Thompson. Please take care of yourself and each other, and we will catch you again on another episode.